Hello, hello, hello. My name's Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Features.
Woo! I don't know why I did that with my hands.
Because you wanted to spank me?
How's that a spanking? I was thinking more like lightsaber, sword, something like that.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
definitely where my mind went first thing whenever somebody swings back like that.
Why? I'm not going to ask why.
What do you mean? A paddle? You paddled me once.
That was just for your birthday, okay?
His wife was in the room and she paddled me too,
Yes.
along with many other people. Clothes were on. It was very much more of a humiliation thing than anything.
Yeah, so this is Double Trouble Features. This is your weekly podcast talking about movies, TV shows, and whatever else is on those damn screens. And so, Joe, I love how we reversed today.
Yeah.
So, Joe, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about something golden and round.
Ooh, the golden ball.
Yes.
Balls, actually.
From
Yes.
Dan to Dan. Yes. Exactly. No, we're going to be talking about the Golden Globes. Beautiful globes.
I love some globes. I love some globes.
Okay.
And we're going to leave it at that.
Okay. But no, yeah, we're going to be talking about the Golden Globes a little bit. Jordan, what's going on with them? What's happening? What does the Hollywood Foreign Press have to say?
There's a lot of movies out that, to be honest, we did not watch.
I haven't heard half of
Yeah,
them.
a lot of TV shows. And we're going to talk about a couple of TV shows today also, and a couple movies that we also watched this week. And yeah, can't wait. It's going to be a good episode. So, speaking of those Golden Globes, first, I think it's the worst award show out of all of them.
Yeah, it just always feels too early. Like there's so many other movies coming out. There's so many other TV shows that are still premiering or getting their legs.
Yeah.
And it always feels like rushed, but it is a good indicator for other award shows.
It's a great indicator. I just think that I like the Oscars more because it's this bullshit of we're partially into movies and partially into TV shows, when I actually like the whole, hey, we're only doing strictly TV or strictly movies in the Oscars and the Emmys. But I like the Screenwriters Actors Guild. To be honest, to me, I think that's more the biggest prestige.
Maybe I take the Critics' Choice Awards over this. I take the People's Choice Awards over this because even they have an opinion. So for me, how do I put this? I don't even mind the whole TV and movie thing. That's not the thing for me. For me, it's the categories and how they break them out in the comedy drama. I get it, but
Yeah.
it always feels just a little off for some reason.
Yeah, and we can actually kind of go into that. So, Substance is in the musical comedy category.
Which, I mean, sure. But what?
Exactly.
Is it really?
No, dead serious. It is. So Substance is nominated for Best Musical Comedy. And that title, musical comedy, it just doesn't fit Substance.
No, because, I mean, The Substance is a drama. If anything, don't get me wrong, there's some, funny parts, but it's not those parts don't even make you chuckle.
No.
Because it's so gross and weird. This is what pisses me off about all of this. Is what do you mean that it's a comedy?
No, but at the same time, you kind of can't be mad at the Golden Globes.
Yes, I can.
Or the Oscars in these kind of categories. It's because the studios are the ones who submit for this certain categories.
Fair, but because of that, a lot of them are submitting for these categories in the hopes that they'll win over other ones.
That is true.
Because maybe The Substance wouldn't hold over The Brutalist, but I wouldn't know. I haven't seen The Brutalist, but they're well, everyone loved this though, and we had that guy eating shrimp, and that was funny. So
yeah, and I think they have they have standards again. Should have done some research. But they have standards of certain percentages have to be in this range and stuff like that. But again, I don't know. There's a couple funny parts, not even really funny, just chuckle moments and substance, but like nothing funny. Now, like Wicked definitely is
that's
musical.
funny. That's musical comedy.
It makes sense. So yeah, we have for best musical comedies, we have also the Challengers. Challengers is not at all
a comedy. Like I just don't, and that's this. See here.
Oh my God! So just read it. Yeah. So Amelia Perez, you have A Real Pain, The Substance, Wicked, and Honora, and Challengers. And I know for a fact Challengers is not in that category.
I'm not even sure. I haven't seen Honora yet, and I really want to, but like I like looking at it, it doesn't feel like
it's a romantic movie.
It's a romantic movie, but it's also like it's more about like just living life as a stripper and like as a sex worker and what it would be like to be in the scenario, like romance, and like I'm sure there are
again, I would easily be okay with a rich sugar daddy to come find me and love me.
Okay. It's crazy that you just offered up that information.
Yes.
No.
Hey, there's a rich sugar mama out there.
You said sugar daddy.
I did.
That's
because that's what happened in the movie.
That's why I was like, that is a crazy bit of information to give yourself out on. I was like, you just gave that information freely.
All right. Hey, to all the old men out there that have a lot of money, I'm cool to go on a date. I'm so okay to go on a date.
You're not willing to see. Here's the thing. No, gay sugar daddies expect you to do stuff.
No,
this is not.
No.
See, and this is the thing.
No.
I'm like actually really annoyed. Like straight sugar daddies, they just like want your company. Gay sugar daddies want to pee on you. It's like,
my God.
They're like, I'm paying for it, so I might as well get my money's worth.
I mean, but to be honest, fair.
No.
Yeah.
It's not fair because then the girls, like the straight sugar daddies, they just be nice to them.
It's not fair to me.
It's not fair to me.
Yes, no. One of my friends, all they got paid like $600 a week in college just to text and then like once a month go on a coffee date.
Yeah, there's no gay man doing that.
I would easily do that.
Because I mean, you can get it for free with gay men. So, like the way I don't know. But anyway, but speaking of the Golden Globes,
oh yeah, back to that. Best picture for drama, we have The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, and September 5.
I've seen one of those.
I've also only seen one of those.
What are we doing? What are these movies?
I don't know. Like most of those movies, at least to me, I feel like they're those niche kind of.
But I haven't even heard of most of them.
I feel like they're very small marketing budgets.
Yeah, but sure, but I feel like you and I do play around in the movie space a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we do look at stuff like didn't know Adrian Brody was in a new movie, and I did not know that has it come out yet?
I don't know, because that is the thing.
Because I also see like Daniel Craig and Queer down there, and I know that hasn't come out yet.
No,
or like just
but
came out.
that looked really good though.
Yeah. Because it's done by the same guy who did Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, okay.
So like anything Luca Guadagnino does, it's gonna be good.
No, I saw like because I don't know if it was a movie or was it just commercial, but I saw the trailer for Queer, and I was just like, no, I know for a fact Daniel Craig's about to act his ass off in this, and I was just like, I'm down to go see it.
I can't wait. I heard there's like the most erroneous sex scenes, and I can't wait.
Ooh, don't know if I really.
Oh yeah.
Want to see those.
We're not going to see this together.
I kind of figured, to be honest.
No.
I was like, I feel like you kind of want to go with your people, and I'll be like, you know what, just
my people.
Your friends. We're not friends.
Yeah, okay.
We're coworkers.
I'm sorry, coworkers get paid. You're not paying me.
All right, so we have best animated movies. We have Flow. I thought that was just an alright movie.
I don't remember it. What is Flow?
You don't need to know. You're not going to watch it. Inside Out 2, we have A Memoir of a Snail. Also didn't see that.
No.
Moana 2, which I'm still trying to go see.
Do you want to go see it?
Sunday?
Potentially.
I bet. Wallace and Gromit, which I love Wallace and Gromit.
I didn't know they were coming out with a new movie either.
Yeah, I think this is the last one, actually.
Because
I think the studio's going down.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they just did that Chicken Little, or not Chicken Little, Chicken Run, the McNugget last year or whatever.
Oh,
They made a sequel to Chicken Run on Netflix last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a baby.
Was it good?
It was fun. I mean, it kind of just rehashed the old one, but
Okay.
it was still fun.
Okay. And then The Wild Robot, which is the movie I'm going to talk about today. So out of the movies I did see, that should win.
I do really want to see Conclave. I'm waiting for it to come out on streaming. Yeah. It's coming out on streaming soon, but that's like what I'm gunning for just because of all the religious trauma.
And then, yeah, we can go through like, all the actors and stuff like that, but once we start watching some of these, then we can actually have a real opinion on them. But going into what got nominated the most, Amelia Perez, Selena Gomez's movie that she's in on Netflix, that got 10 nominations. The Brutalist got 7. Conclave got 6. Arona and The Substance got 5. Challengers, A Real Pain, and Wicked, and The Wild Robot got 4.
I think I'm just really, and here's the thing. I do think that a lot of these, like you said, are really niche because, like, for me, I felt like The Substance was really niche.
Yeah.
And everyone on Twitter was like freaking out that The Substance even got nominated for something, let alone 5 nominations.
Yeah.
So I think that, I think you're really onto something. I think that I do think that the Hollywood Foreign Press likes to go very niche and artistic.
I just don't think this was like a year of like big dramas,
No, that's fair.
As like you just didn't have like a Martin Scorsese movie, you didn't have a Steven Spielberg movie, during
an election year, that's too much for people. That's just too much for people.
I think that's the real thing is like none of the big directors were like, because if we look at Best Director, none of these people are like super like you have Brady Corbett, Edward Beggar, you have Sean Baker, Jaquise, I don't even know how to say his name, to be honest. He's probably Hispanic somehow, and
you just don't want to do it. Yeah,
don't want to do it. Again, I used to be a teacher, and the first day was the worst on pronouncing names. Coraline, Farget, and Pale. God, don't even know how to say it.
You know what? We could just.
But none of those even sound remotely familiar.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I just think maybe that's due to a lot of criticisms they received in the past of like over conflating, these larger creators,
same ones, white men, blah blah blah. Yeah.
And so maybe we are getting a little mix, and this is just what we're feeling. And I mean, now I need to go watch all these movies because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I definitely. And Amelia Perez was definitely on my radar because Selena Gomez is in it. Shout out to Selena, congratulations on getting engaged to Benny. Hey, he's a weird dude.
Oh, I'd hit it.
Bro, really?
I would. I bet he's...
Really?
Here's the thing.
He is nasty. I'll give you that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's...
A man who looks like that, he knows how to do the right things.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
And the thing, but he still has that flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because he's very musical. He's got his whole thing.
Yeah.
So I know that he can hold a beat, and I know he can make it nasty. And that's all I really need to know.
And Selena bad. Selena can get it. But anyway, speaking of Selena, Only Murders in the Building got nominated with 4 nominations.
I really need to watch this show. It's been nominated for everything all the time.
It's nominated every year for Best Comedy.
I know.
Shogun also got 4, but the nomination that got the most, or the show that got the most nominations, is The Bear, season 3, which... Oh, we didn't even talk about that on the show.
We didn't talk about it. I'm not even sure I completely finished it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, this was a down year for The Bear.
Yeah.
It's still better than a lot of TV.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. But with the 3 nominations, we got a lot of shows of Baby Reindeer, The Diplomat, Disclaimer, Hacks, Monsters, the Lyle, and the Mendez Brothers Story. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is a good show. Nobody Wants This. The Penguin, Ripley, Slow Horses, and True Detective all got 3 nominations.
That's a lot of shows.
No. But again, best drama. The Day of Jackal, that's on Peacock. The Diplomat on Netflix. Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video. Highly recommend. But Shogun should win. Shogun.
I think it will.
Slow Horses on Apple TV, and Squid Games. See, Squid Games got nominated, and it's not even out yet.
Is it Squid Game season 2?
Well, season 1 was like 3-4 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago, was it?
It's 3 years. It's at least 3 years.
Well, 3 years
2021.
ago. Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They made a whole reality TV show.
I watched
Yeah.
I watched that, but that was this past summer.
Yeah. So no, Squid Games, because it was also got released at the end of 2021 too.
Yeah.
But they can do like early premieres of it. Because I think
Which I'm sure they did.
The premiere of in Seoul actually just happened. I think last weekend.
But that's still crazy that it's nominated for a Golden Globe and it's not even out yet. This is why I don't like the Golden Globes.
Yeah. And then you have Best TV Musical Comedy, Abbott, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can watch Abbott all day, every day. The Bear, The Gentleman on Netflix. Not a bad show, to be honest. It's a...
Oh, is that the one with...
Theo?
Yeah.
The dude from... oh, my God.
Theo James.
Yeah, Theo James.
Yeah.
That's his name. Yeah. Then you have Hacks. Nobody Wants This on Netflix, which I started.
I've watched a few episodes.
And it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's
No.
just entirely unrealistic to any kind of
Oh,
life.
duh.
Like it's I
Duh.
that's my thing is like I'm sitting there watching and I'm like I have to tell you a funny story about it later, but I was sitting there watching and I was just like
Couldn't be me.
yeah, like it, like I was
Couldn't
like I was like they're just like these two this couple where it's just like the hottest rabbi you've ever seen. And you're just like and then like she's like I'm just a quirky unlovable girl and it's Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen
And
Bell.
you're just like first of all, I know both of you have had great relationships in your lives, all of that fun stuff. You like I don't know. It just
I really do hate, like, I know you're acting and you want the best actor, but like when you're like Kristen Bell, like
You want her
pretty and famous, it's just like you're not a quirky, like, oh, like I'm not lovable person. Like,
yeah, it's
like, bro, anybody in the world would be lucky to be with Kristen Bell.
and exactly. And I just like
You're freaking oh, what's her name? Not Elsa. It's the other one.
Anna.
You're Anna. Who don't want Anna?
And we're just supposed to pretend that like you're just okay, whatever.
Yes.
Like that's the part that I was just like, this is ridiculous. And then them being like, oh well, nobody wants like, literally nobody wants this. They're like, everyone's just fighting this so hard, and like nobody's fighting it at all except for them. And I'm like, what is going on? Anyway,
a limited TV series, Baby Reindeer. Fantastic.
love that show. It's such a good show.
Disclaimer: Monsters, the Mendez brother story.
That's crazy that got.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was that great.
I didn't think it was that great, and I think it's crazy that it had a whole like incest plot line out of nowhere, and it's like that. Like I thought that alone would have like.
Hey, what sells? The Penguin. Should win everything. Ripley and True Detective Night Country, which again I thought was it's a decent season of it. And then here's the one thing I do like about the Golden Globes is they do represent like best performance in stand-up comedy. I watch comedy like stand-up all the time. They have the Jamie Foxx one. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Oh, it just came out.
Okay.
Jamie, like he talks about like him. What happened to him?
Oh.
And funny as hell.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, no, highly recommend watch it.
Okay.
Nikki Glazer. Here's the thing about Nikki Glazer.
I love Nikki Glazer.
No. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like her. And on the Tom Brady roast, she was by far the best.
Yeah.
Like she killed it. She was amazing. Every joke was funny. Me and my wife tried to watch her special that came out like probably like a couple weeks after that. We're like, okay, this is great. Teed up. Watched it. And it's just like, wasn't funny. Like it was more her beating a dead horse of like, we get it. Like you're freaking 40, you don't want kids. That's literally when I tell you the first 45 minutes of her bit was just about that. And it's like, we get it.
But I mean, I can see why that wouldn't be funny to somebody who is planning to have kids and is younger.
No.
Like,
when I tell you the first couple jokes were funny.
Okay.
That she was talking about that. It's the
and then it
third and the fourth and the fifth on the same topic that you're like, all right, man, like, give me something new, something else.
Yeah, I can see that. But also she's like, Nikki Glaser for me, she's like just now getting famous.
Yeah.
And I think that the Tom Brady roast really like pushed her into that. Because like, I think she's hosting the Golden Globes.
She is.
She's hosting
the Golden Globes. Oh my God. No, you're so right on
dogging her. But no, so that's really funny. But like,
maybe that's why she got nominated.
But well, I mean, I truly think that there are a lot of people who like do find like they do like to beat a dead horse in comedy. Like I think I think comedy is so subjective, and they do like
it's very subjective,
long forms. I get why people wouldn't find that funny, but like for me, I don't know. Like I see these people get really famous really fast. Like Matt Rife is somebody who, and then they just like don't really know how to fill a whole hour yet. And what's crazy, because I've seen Nikki Glaser stand up before, so that's really, I haven't seen that one, but I've seen a lot of her stand up before, and I do think she's really funny. So that's like sad, but it's always been like 15, 20 minute sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the Matt Rife story, that you see, dyed his hair blonde.
Oh, because he's
going back on tour now.
Don't get me started on him.
Yeah,
bite the hand that feeds you, asshole.
Yes.
Like don't, and also men, general rule of thumb, don't get a bunch of plastic surgery and then get mad when people like you because you're attractive.
True. Because if you saw that motherfucker on Wild Now, but that dude was ugly as hell.
And then he wants to say it was all natural, and you're like, babe, you can't grow a jaw.
No. You were already an adult at that point.
We're not, like, we may be stupid, but we're not dumb. You know what?
No, same thing with Nikki Glaser. Like, I was like, when she was on Tom Brady roast, I was like, bro, I don't remember her being this hot. I was like,
but I think that's a little different because it's it's not work getting done. Like she just got, I don't know, maybe she did.
I'm pretty sure she did.
I'm sure she got a little work done.
There's no way. Anyway, you have Seth Meyers, Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler one, it's pretty great actually. I've missed Adam Sandler stand up. Ali Wong. I actually watched the Ali Wong, and okay, not her best work.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I like her when the one that she was pregnant.
Yeah. Well, the first two.
Yeah, the first two. Yeah, funny. This one was kind of like, okay. Also, her beating a dead horse of like, we get it. You're single and you're trying to find dating. You know, like it's like those things. It's like I only can take the same thing.
Those are good for a 20-minute set, but we gotta move on to the next subject.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the Golden Globes. We'll talk about the actors and actresses and stuff like that when we get to it.
I don't know. It's just kind of it just feels lackluster to me.
It does, but I think this year was kind of a lackluster, movie kind of year.
Well, I mean, film-wise, sure.
Film-wise,
I think it was a big movie year and not a big film year.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That actually makes perfect sense. Yeah. So tell us, what do you think? Who deserves to win? Are we wrong on our takes? Should we just watch these other movies?
I think we have to. We just need to get really stoned and watch all those movies together.
Yes. So let us know. So I'm going to talk about a movie that is a Golden Globe nominee. Because I watch better movies than you. The movie I'm talking about is called The Wild Robot. And when I tell you, beautiful movie.
It looks really good.
Like from the trailers, you can already tell. And I could have took my nephews to go see that movie. It was between that and Transformers. And my mom was like, I really don't care what they want to see. We're going to see whatever I want to see. showed her the trailer to both, and she was like, Robot will look like I'll cry, so we're not going to see that movie. And at the end, definitely teared up.
Yeah, they looked like one of those.
It's a tearjerker a little bit.
And I love jerking tears.
Yeah, it's. I'm just like, I hate when you do that sometimes because I just get instantly an image in my head, and I hate that.
It's because I'm a storyteller, babe.
Shut up. Anyway, I give this movie a solid 8. It's a really good, like, great movie actually. It gives you the feels very early on.
Is it more? So I'm curious. Is it more like found family focused, because that's what it felt like, or is it more like nature focused, or is it like really right like between the two?
So let me tell you about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's basically like kind of like Wall-E, almost a little bit of Wall-E. So a robot that is part of a society that's supposed to help out and do stuff is randomly stranded on an island. And it's played by Lupita. God, I can't say her last name.
Nyong'o?
Yes. I'm sorry.
You can't say Nyong'o?
Nyong'o?
You just did it.
Nyong'o.
There you go.
Lupita Nyong'o.
So close.
Yeah. See? So she voices the robot the entire time.
Okay.
She does a great job, by the way. She goes into this forest, and every creature is scared of her, which is obvious.
Rightfully so.
Yes. And so she tries to go, navigates, breaks some things, does all these things. She eventually, like, the AI in her learns how to communicate with the animals, and all the animals are like, get the hell away from me. She fights a bear, kind of runs away, and then she lands on a mother duck, kills it, kills the entire family, except for one, the runt.
No,
Yes, it's like when I tell you that is the first 5 minutes.
No,
Yes.
I wondered where this baby duck came from.
Yes.
That is a horror.
Yes, no, so she killed the whole family. She killed the whole family.
What a horrible lesson for children.
Yes. And so basically, like, I guess when like baby ducks, when they hatch, whatever they see first,
Yeah, they latch
it's like,
on.
that is my mother.
Yeah.
And so that's how.
It's called imprinting.
Yeah, imprinting. That's what it's called. And so they become in a relationship. They find this fox. This fox is trying to kill the baby duck.
Of course.
The fox is played by Pedro Pascal. Yes. He sounds great in it.
I'm sure he does.
They pitched his voice a little bit high, so it sounds a little bit.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah. But anyway, so basically, it's kind of like how she doesn't know how to mother. Because like she's always like
The robot does.
the robot doesn't. The robot, its name Rocks. The robot's like, I will complete any task I'm ever given. And then basically the task is like, you need to be a mother. And then it's just like, what does being a mother mean?
Oh.
And I feel like that's kind of the overarching story, like theme of the entire movie.
Okay.
It's like, how does one be a real parent? You get to the point of like, you have to nurture this child that isn't you. Kind of like how we've had those conversations of like how a lot of parents just want to be their kid to be a mini them, or like they want them to be better, but every kid is different, and every kid is their own person.
And they think that their children is their legacy. And it's like, no, babe, whatever you leave behind is your legacy. Your children will have their own legacy. And they might use the tools from your legacy to build their legacy, but your children are not your legacy.
Yeah. And so going from that kind of standpoint, she's trying to raise it, trying to learn how to like teach it to fly, to fish, to swim and stuff like that. She doesn't know any of these things. So the duck is kind of odd and weird, and none of the other ducks mess with it. And then eventually grows up, and it gets to the point of like, hey, it's migrating season. The duck doesn't know how to fly. So we have to teach but also none of the other ducks want it to fly in their formation and stuff like that. And so, and like, this is not a spoiler because like, it's literally in the trailer. But eventually the duck learns how to fly.
Yeah.
And so I would say like, that's kind of the halfway point. The back half is like, how does she deal with not having that purpose anymore? Not having like being that mother. And when I tell you it's beautiful, it's a movie of being like parenting, of like raising, growing, how to protect, but also not be overprotective, but also being okay to letting your child go and then finding purpose after that. And when I tell you this movie, especially at the end, is a tearjerker, it's a great movie.
It sounds like a movie a bunch of parents need to go see.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Because I like what I'm talking about there in like, then you have to like, you become a mother and you do all these things and you really, but then the kid eventually goes off and is a whole human person by themselves out in the world and they're not yours. Like,
yeah, and I feel like a lot of, and like, I don't want to say like, hey, this is women. Cause like, I guess like some dads do this and are like this, but like, it's mostly like women because they get really attached to their kid. It's like, I truly believe, and me and my wife have had to talk about this, of like, I don't ever want to be like, hey, like, who are you? And it's like, oh, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Or like, she's like, oh, I'm a mom. Because when you make being a mother or being a father your entire personality, that only lasts 20 years.
Yeah.
If you have multiple kids, 20, 25 years max. It's like, yeah, you'll forever be a father and mother, but then you lost all your friendships. You lost all like your purpose and like what you want to do. I've always like said, I will put like my dreams and aspirations first, because that's what I like. That's the only way I'm going to be able to survive all the way till like I'm 90 and stuff. But that doesn't mean I will ever neglect my kid. That doesn't mean I will ever not put up and I think and bring up any of their dreams and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that I have to, hey, the second my kid's born, hey, every dream I have, forget about it. I only focus on this kid, and this is the only thing I do.
And I think you hit a really good point, because I think that a lot of people do sacrifice their dreams and what they want for children and for their children, because they think that like that's what they're supposed to do, and then they hold it against those children for years.
That is true.
And I've seen him do it. I see it, like that jealous, like that mom who's jealous of her daughter, that like dad who's jealous of his son, or in vice versa, or like they just like don't like their kids because their kid, like these kids had it so easy and I didn't, and blah, blah, blah.
And that's when you get like a resentment of like, man, why is my kid not perfect? Why is my kid not? I like, as a teacher, as a past teacher, I had parents who are very normal. Like, I had one parent that's a college professor. So yeah, you obviously think, oh, your kid's probably either going to be smart or at least like very well respected. No, the kid is a jackass, this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And so like, again, it's not a, hey, you can be the perfect parent. You can be the nicest person. You can be smart and everything like that. But your kid is their own person.
Yeah.
And so you can't lose your own self for somebody else. Because, and this is what I stick by in my life, is like, I can't love something to the fullest until I love myself to the fullest.
Yeah.
And like, I say that to my wife. I say that to my family, my friends. If I'm not in the right mindset or headspace, how can I be that friend for you?
I think that is a very healthy outlook on things that very few people do. They're too, like, a lot of people they want a kid to fix those problems.
Worst thing is when people who are not in a great relationship, who are not in a great spot, who are like, you know what'll fix this? A kid.
Yeah.
And let's put them into a toxic relationship and everything like that.
And then they get the worst advice, but people telling them, you know, once I had a kid, I finally had a purpose. And I'm like, you didn't have a purpose before you had a kid. What have you been doing this whole time? And like, I know this is very like blasé of me to say.
I mean, but that's what Harrison Buckner thinks. I mean, it's true. Not for men. We have purposes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Women, though, until you have a kid, you have no purpose at all.
And that's just crazy to me. But that's what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
they're getting bad advice from people they trust, like Harrison Butker.
Yeah. No, it's so going back to this movie though, it's a beautiful movie for like the animation wise.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I was sold. The second I saw the trailer, I was like, this is beautiful.
It is beautiful, gorgeous. The colors are very vibrant. The voice acting is great. I really enjoyed it. You see all these different animals. Funniest thing about being a mom, there's a possum mom. And she has like 6 kids on her or 7 kids. And then one gets eaten. And she's like, I got 6 now. And she keeps walking on. And then the 7th kid, no, I'm okay. And she's like, You're just like, hey, to be honest, if you got 7 kids and one goes away, you're like,
that's why I had 6. Like, that's why I had 7 kids. Because if one goes missing, I still got 6 more.
yeah, exactly. No, it's a good movie.
What'd you rate it?
I gave it a solid 8.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I wish I had just a little bit more humor. It's still funny, don't get me wrong, but not like laugh out loud kind of funny. But definitely emotions are a 10. Emotions definitely on a 10. But yeah, great movie. Highly recommend.
All right, time to cry this holiday season.
All right, so God. All right, I do want to God. I do want to talk about the freaking. All right, first, don't bring that voodoo in my house. I'm just letting you know. Do not, guys. For the audio listeners, Joe's looking at me crazy because he saw a movie called Smile 2.
Yes, I did.
I do want to say, however, had some of the best marketing when they were at random football games.
Yeah,
and
doing that shit,
doing crazy cringy ass smiles. I watched the first one. Didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
And so I want to hear your opinion on 2. Should I go see 2?
Okay. No, you should not go see 2. But you should watch it on Paramount Plus when you're really stoned. So what this movie is, it is a continuation of Smile, but it's not a direct continuation. There is a little bit of like, it's like tertiary, like, because so what, as we know from Smile 1, It is about a person basically getting stalked by a demonic entity.
Yep.
They are seeing these smiling people everywhere, and it slowly follows them, getting closer and closer each time until it eventually kills you.
I'm not going to lie. I would kill myself.
So, so let's talk about that. Because that is
therapist.
no, because that is like part of this. So how it transfers is it makes you kill yourself in front of another person.
Yeah.
And so then when you do that, it transfers to that next person. So a lot of this is them trying to figure out how to get around that. How do because the only way you can get this thing to leave you alone is if you're dead.
Facts.
It's not like It Follows where you just fuck it on and pass it to the next person.
Random tangent though. Have you seen that one movie where it's a demon following you and the only way you can get rid of it is through sex?
That's It Follows.
Yes.
That's the movie I'm talking about right now. Yes.
Oh my God. That's the craziest thing I've ever.
And that's why I said it's not like It Follows, because you can't just fuck it on and pass it to the next person.
That's the craziest concept I've ever saw in a movie. Bro, because imagine like you get an STD and somebody tells you that, you're like, oh fuck, I got an STD. If it's curable, you're like, okay, I guess I can cure it. If it's not curable, you're pretty pissed. But if it was a demon after sex,
see, I would be more pissed off about an incurable STD
than a demon.
Yeah, I can deal with a demon.
Shut up.
But AIDS?
Shut up.
AIDS?
Shut up.
That's a lot.
You can deal with HIV, bro. If I had sex and somebody gave me a demon, I'm killing that person.
I just have years of, no, you fuck them again because it's there, like, takesy backsies.
They know. Like, they know. Oh my God.
But no, so Smile 2, which I did not realize this was her. Naomi Scott, also who played Jasmine in the live action Aladdin.
Baddie.
I didn't realize this was her, which it does explain, because throughout the movie, what this movie is actually about is, so this demon, it eventually makes its way to this pop star. Her name's Sky Riley. She's kind of an amalgamation of things. The thing that made me like this is it felt like it gave me more of that like concert stuff than like Trap did. And so I think that it scratched a lot of itches that I wanted Trap to scratch, but Trap didn't scratch those.
Okay.
The one thing that these movies are known for is, now, because there's two of them, the ending is ridiculous, crazy, so far out there. You want to talk about a thrussy? I saw that thing open up so wide, it was crazy.
God dang.
What this movie is about is her trying to find a way to get rid of the demon. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of different deviations from the norm other than the pop star aspect of it, and truly watching her go crazy after this whole, so she had like this whole issue with her boyfriend, and they were in a car wreck, and she like is dealing with a lot of the fallout from that. Her boyfriend, who is also a famous actor, died in the car crash, so she's getting a lot of heat from that.
Oh.
And so she is also dealing with a lot of the like physical pain, because like it was a bad car crash, and she like is trying to go on tour, and you see her like dealing with all of this, and she's like, Mom, I'm going crazy, like I'm seeing things, all this stuff, and her mom is just like, but honey, the tour, and if you don't get it together, this is all gone and we won't love you anymore. And you're just like,
fair.
And you're just like, all right,
Sounds
well,
like Miley Cyrus's mom.
no, absolutely. Trish, don't get me started on Trish Cyrus. Trish, who stole Noah's boyfriend. That's crazy.
Wait, what?
Oh, girl, we're gonna have. You don't get up at now in the celebrity gossip. These people go crazy. Oh, they're having separate Christmases this year. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk more into the celebrity gossip at all later. But so this woman was not actually like Trish, but she was a momager, and she was very much like, I don't really care what you think is happening right now. I need you to go on that stage and dance. And dance she does. The ending of this movie is a lot of fun. I just think it's a lot of fun, and I was like cackling the whole time. I think maybe some people will find it disturbing.
Were you at any point were you like scared? Was it like jumpy, scary? Or
it was a lot
like
of jump. It was a lot of jump scares.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of it was. So like, if you're not into jump scares, don't watch this movie. I'd give this movie a 5. It didn't like do anything crazy.
Oh, so it's not a bad movie.
No, I don't think it's a bad movie.
Okay.
But I also don't think that Smile is a bad movie either.
I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. Bad's like a 3 to me. I give Smile probably a 4.
Yeah,
it's a below
I think
average.
I do think that this movie is a lot more fun and a lot more like it gets into the like. I think that it plays with a little more, and you do get a little more backstory, so you understand a little more.
Okay.
And you get a little more of just like the rules of it all, because eventually she does find someone who's had to deal with this before, and like he's like explaining it to her and all this stuff, and they actually come up with a plan to try to get rid of it and all these stupid things. And and then you see them try to execute that plan, and that's the last half of the movie, and it's fucking insane.
Okay, you know what? That sounds like a Christmas break, got nothing else to do.
I think that's exactly what this movie is for. It's for when you're just bored at home.
Yeah.
Like you just left mom and dad, you're full. You don't want to cook. I just need to put something on and fall asleep. This will be fun.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's talk about a show. A show that I gave it time. I wanted to make sure it was done before I watched. This show's on Netflix. I literally had one of our fans text me and be like, hey, have you watched this show? Because this show is literally amazing.
You got fans texting you?
Straight up.
Wow.
Straight up. I know. Crazy, right? Shout out to you know who you are. But anyway, they texted me about this, and I was like, I'm watching it all this week. And when I tell you I binged it. It's 18 episodes long. And they're about 35 to like 50 minutes long each. And the show I'm talking about is called Arcane. and it's an animated movie or show that's based off the video game League of Legends. Now, I have dabbled in League of Legends. I used to play a lot in college. Haven't really played it since college.
I've never played any of it.
Yeah. You do not need to play the game or know anything about the game to watch the show.
Okay.
There's a couple characters that are in this show that are in the game. And at first I thought it was a backstory. It's not. Literally, it's just using the characters that are in that game.
Yeah.
And we're just creating an entire show based on it.
Okay. So like how a video game show should be done?
Yes, correct.
Wow, that's new and innovative.
Yeah, I don't need a yeah, it's like I don't need a canon like Sonic stuff. Like I just need Sonic, I need Shadow, I need them to fight. That's all I need. This, however, is a beautiful story. It gets a solid 9.5. If I had to choose a number, ooh, that's tough.
You're like so close to going full 10, and that's like crazy.
It's crazy. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. But this is, I think it's better than X-Men. And I loved X-Men.
I don't know how to feel about that statement. I have to go watch it now. To prove you wrong.
No. I loved this show. But I definitely think you need to watch both seasons.
Yeah.
So season 1 leaves off on a huge cliffhanger, and season 2 picks up right after it. So synopsis: you have these 2 orphan girls. You have Vi, and you have which is short for Violet, and you have Powder. They're orphans because they live in kind of like a a class society where you have people who live above ground and people who live below ground. And they had a rebellion. A lot of people died. And so their parents died. And so this barkeep, who's basically kind of like the leader of the rebellion, kind of retreats back down, opens up a bar, and he takes a couple of these straggler kids in. These kids then try to go and, a couple of years later, they're trying to, get some scraps, get some money and stuff like that. And they rob this place. And when they rob it, boom, explosion happens. They thought they were going to be quiet and stuff like that. They weren't. And so they try to escape and things like that, but they find this crystal. And to be honest, the crystal is the entire problem of the entire show. It is a crystal that is the power of magic. And this entire town and world is trying to escape from magic.
Oh.
They know that magic is evil. Like, people have used war and have done bad things with magic in other past lives or in other places around the world. And so they're trying to get away from it. They don't want to get too into it. But you have this one inventor, Jace, who you'll probably find attractive for an animated character.
I love getting horny for people I'll never really see in real life.
Jace is a guy who grew up very poor and everything like that.
Already attracted to him.
And he got taken into a rich family, and he's smart, and he's trying to do research. And he found these crystals because when his family, back in the day, his family kind of got teleported by a mage, and he got these crystals. He's trying to figure out how to break this and use it for good, for a source of power and stuff like that.
Because magic doesn't kill people. People kill people.
Well.
I know this is sounding very pro-gun.
Don't know about that in this situation. So basically what happens is, and this is kind of not a spoiler. This is the first 2 episodes. What happens is Vander, the guy who took in the 2 girls, there's beef with the top world and the bottom world from that explosion, from that robbery. And what happens is the top side has to go down, and they have to find out who robbed. And Vander's like, hey, I'm not going to turn in these girls, so hey, you got to take me. But then what happens is this other guy who used to be Vander's best friend fucking kills the fucking guards. And then takes Vander, tries to torture him and stuff like that. And so the girls try to go save him. They fucking fail. and Vander dies. Everything blows up. But what happens is the girls get separated because of Powder. She was always the jinx. She was always the reason why. She's the reason why they almost got caught trying to rob the place up top.
Okay.
She's the reason why this, but she's the little sister. So her older sister Vi, who's played by Haley Steinfeld, was always trying to like cover for her and everything like that. But once Vander died, she's like, fuck you. Like, you are the reason. You're the problem. And
that's intense.
And then the bad guy basically like, hey, I'll take you in and I'll groom you and I'll change you and I'll make you feel better. And she changes her name from Powder to Jinx because she feels like she's a jinx. And that's like the first 3 episodes, basically. The rest is basically them growing up, them being different, and how these 2 sisters are trying to live in this world. Jinx has mental problems, like actually mental problems, PTSD, like talks to people. People have died, and she builds these things to like, you know, talk to them like they're still alive, while Vi has nothing going on for her. Like, she's fighting in the underground. She's just angry, and she has all these problems. And when I tell you, man, and Jace discovers how to work this. And Jace becomes one of the, like, skyrockets from this nothing kid to top of the fucking world.
Hell yeah.
He joins the council. He gets to get in the inner workings of, like, government and stuff like that. And when I tell you, you think, oh, like, good for Jace, good for him and stuff like that. It's not sweet. It's not good. It's not great. And just how their paths in these 18 episodes, just how their paths go is crazy. It's fun. It's brilliant. And the character development that they go through is one of the best I've seen, especially in the animated space. There's a little bit of, there's love, romance.
What is this rated? It's because it sounds a little more mature. Is it like?
Oh, it's definitely more mature.
It's more like. Is it like tweeny or is it like full adult?
I really feel like first season is tweeny. Second season there's a sex scene, so you don't see anything, but there's like full on lesbian sex.
So that
and so yeah, there's full on lesbian sex.
So it's okay.
So I think
I'm not gonna lie. My biggest turnoff from this show has been I thought it was for kids.
No, no.
That's crazy.
There's not one bit for kids. The action scenes are fantastic. The art, like when I tell you the art style in this is so beautiful. From like you see the actual like anger in people's, like they had to do some kind of like what are those, like they had the bulbs and stuff like that, motion mocap, because like I'm like there's no way
for sure
they were drawing this, but it's beautiful, it's visually stunning. Some of these art scenes is basically just talking about how like this class of like being on top and being rich and us being at the bottom, how we're all hated, going into a war. And then you have Jace, who discovers this mystical power and tries to control it, but then doesn't realize that this power kind of has its own mind. And then you think it's about them, but then it starts to shift to talk about more of like how this power entity kind of takes over.
Interesting.
When I tell you, like there's probably like at least 6 characters that are like actually very important, and that you follow every bit of them. And when I tell you how all of them kind of weave, some even go far away, and you're just like, are they even like important? But come back in a beautiful way that makes sense. And it's just like every character has a purpose, is important, and beautifully well done. Voice acting is great, fantastic. Like, it's a great ass fucking anime show.
I mean, I'm just kind of shocked because I literally thought it was. I don't know why. I just thought it was for kids, and so like I've just kind of like not even given a thought about it. And I was like, and I've never even played League of Legends, so it sounds like if you haven't played League of Legends and you are an adult, this should be the show for you. They just didn't. I don't know. Like what?
Yeah, I think they really played off the League of Legends IP.
Yeah, and I think that probably worked for
the people that play League of Legends.
Yeah. But like I think that to their detriment, like I just didn't know. I didn't think it was accessible because like you said, you thought it was like going to be because most video game movies and TV shows aren't good. And they like do all of this, like they try to do some kind of origin story, or it's like way in the future, and then they got to retcon all this shit, and then nobody knows what's going on. But it sounds like this is a fantastic interpretation.
No, it's so fantastic because you get from start to finish in some of these people's lives.
Oh my god, that shit does.
And when I tell you, like, and again, I don't want to spoil it for you.
I just love a full complete narrative story. Yeah, don't.
But the final episode of season 1. And like this is basically like what I'm going to tell you. The final episode of season 1, it is crazy. I think on IMDb, right?
Yeah.
Gave it a 9.8.
Okay.
And when I tell you the rest of season 2 is basically all the consequences of all their actions of season 1.
That's beautiful.
To a point where the last episode of the finale, it's a beautiful ending. There's this one scene, I think episode 6 in season 2. I almost cried, and it's fantastic. That also got rated 9. Like in season 2, I think in season 1, I think there's 2 episodes that are rated like 8 point something, and in season 2, every single episode is a 9 or higher.
Oh.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 100%. 100%. And I don't have anything bad to say. Like, to be honest, I'm like trying to figure. I'm like, in my head right now.
What doesn't work, but it all works.
Yeah, like in my head, I'm trying to figure out what doesn't get. Why do I not give this a 10? And
I think it's just because of your own elitism.
To be honest, I think it is. I give it a 10. I changed my mind. I give this a 10 because I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a perfect narrative story. There's nothing I would change, and I think the art, and it's not a boring like, hey, we're just getting like filler episodes of like watching these people. No, there's an action every episode, and it's not like you're lazy ass. Yeah. It's good ass action. So like it's entertaining. It's quick. It doesn't feel like we're slowing the pace. It is a good pace the entire time. No, it's a 10. It's a 10.
It's 10.
Because like there's only one episode of X-Men that I thought was kind of like, but every other episode was like perfect.
Yeah.
I think this is a great show. Like a perfect show.
And I'm interested because for me, a lot of the emotional weight in X-Men is from the political aspects of it. And a lot of my enjoyment of X-Men is through those lenses.
And that is also in this.
Okay, that's what I was
Yes.
yeah.
No, it is in your face of like, there is a class war going on.
Oh, God.
And I know you love a class war.
Love a class war.
Yes.
We're about to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a class war going on, and that is the big theme throughout the entire show to the end. And yeah, you're like, trust me, I'll give it a chance.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
You're gonna watch the first episode. You're like, cool. Like, you're like, all right, this is a good setup episode. You're gonna watch the second episode. You're gonna like, okay, yeah, this is decent. This is a good show. You're gonna watch that third episode. You're like, okay, I'm in, and then the ride just goes after the third episode. I'm telling you.
All right, well, I'm ready to ride.
All right.
Paging Dr. Faggot. You know what's crazy is I've never actually even seen that movie.
Is that The Hangover?
Yeah, I think so.
You haven't seen The Hangover?
No, people would just scream Paging Dr. Faggot at me all the time.
Back then, that is funny.
Yeah,
Back then, it's funny.
Yeah, it was real funny when I turned them all in.
No, okay, you do, but going to be honest, The Hangover, the first one, is like one of the top comedy movies of the 21st century. Like you got to watch it.
Okay,
but I know you. But
we'll
the problem with you though, you're like, I know everything that happened, so it's just like,
and that's the thing is like it just makes it less fun or
True.
funny, and then when everyone just like
says the jokes over and over again, you're like,
But yeah, but to the show that we're talking about today, Paging Dr. Faggot, we're talking about St. Denis Medical, and guys, this show is perfect, like bubblegum comedy. Like it is. I do think that it is like I want it to be. Here's the thing. People need to give the show a chance. People need to try it, check it out. It's so good and funny, and the cast is so stacked. Like, you have people from Reno 911 on this show. You have a bunch of people from Superstore on this show. If you ever like Superstore, this is definitely your bread and butter. There are people from Sex Lives of College Girls on this show.
Okay.
This show is, and then at the very end of it all, you have David Alan Grier, who's like the head doctor, and he's
gotta love it.
He's so good, and like he's just like bringing all this stuff. So like what it is it's this, you know, hodgepodge group of coworkers at a fucking hospital. It's like a regional hospital.
It's like Parks and Rec.
Yes, very much like that. And so you have like your characters. You have the director, and I'm blanking on her name. I can't see it right now. Wendy. Oh, that's not who I'm talking about. Wendy McClendon. She's so funny. She's the blonde from Reno 911. If you've ever watched that show, she is.
Hey, shout out Reno 911.
That show.
Okay, like
that show. So
that show
good.
Can't happen now. At all.
See, but I disagree because I watched. I did watch the movie and it wasn't that great in 2020 when they were like on a cruise.
Oh yeah,
it was like I did watch that movie and I was like, this does not have the same luster to it that it did back then. But no, she is so funny, and she's the blonde woman with the big boobs. But in this one, she's a very smart working like director of the hospital.
Oh, so she's actually smart.
Yes, and she's like trying to get everyone to the thing. And that's the thing is like everyone's a doctor, everyone's a nurse, everyone's like smart, but they're all weird, and that's like the best part. You have David Alan Grier, who's the amazing head doctor, and I think he's just the older doctor who's been through it all.
Is it law that you have to? I feel like every comedy, every sitcom needs to have just an old black character, like specifically that race of black. It has to be black because it just is funny every fucking time. It's
so good.
It's funny every time.
He's so funny because he's just this crotchety old man doctor, but he's smarter than everyone. He's been around the block. He knows what he's talking about. You have this kooky ass surgeon, which is one of my favorite parts in this show is like at one point he gets like obsessed with astrology because they're sitting there and they're talking about it, and he's like, what, you believe in astrology? And the head nurse is like, I don't really believe in it, but I think it's like fun just to read your horoscope and see what it says and see how it lines up. Like, she's like, I don't believe in it, but I really like it. And he's like, well, I'm a Capricorn, what does that say about me? And she's like, well, you're a very smart person and a good leader. And he goes, oh well, tell me more. Tell me more. And then she just looks at the camera and's like, and it's just like that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to do well, but like that kind of comedic timing, that kind of stupid stuff, looking at the camera. Yeah. There's this one kid, he's like a dingus, and I love him so much. And he's like formerly religious, like really religious. And he's like, my parents won't let me come home because now I have to get vaccinated for being a nurse.
I'm dead.
And it's
that's funny.
And it's stupid stuff like that. And the show, I want everyone to give it a chance because it is the next Office. It is the next Friends. If you let it be, like I said, I'd like it a lot to Superstore and like really that style. If you never watched Superstore is a great show. Have you ever watched Superstore?
Yeah, we watched the first season.
And you didn't keep going?
Because Abbott came back on.
Oh, okay, that's fair. But it's just such a good workplace comedy. It's on Peacock. I'd give it a good like 7.
Do they have like live TV premieres, like, you know, like on Wednesday nights or Sunday?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what it is. Yeah. I think it's on Wednesdays.
You just watch it on Peacock.
I watch it on Peacock.
Yeah.
I watch it on Peacock whenever my little Apple TV app goes, there's a new episode of St. Denis Medical. I'm
not gonna lie. Why doesn't all my other apps do that? Maybe because I turned the notifications off.
That's why.
But Apple TV always just like, hey, there's a new episode of Abbott. There's a new episode of Shrinking.
And
I'm like, oh shit. Hey girl, we got another episode.
No, that's why I get so like, and it's always like when I'm at work and it's like, you have this show to watch, you have this show to watch. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have a night tonight.
No, because it's so funny that you thought of this show, because I've seen a clip and like a commercial for it. I think it was during a football game. And I was just
streaming only on Peacock.
Yeah, and I was just like that. No, I was like, that looks funny. That looks like a good office. But I was like, for those kind of shows, I always need like a person to tell me, hey, is this funny or good or not? And so like, I'm glad you said this, because I love giving I'm always down to give a sitcom a try.
And like, I really do like it because it does still deal with like all of these like different aspects of hospital life, but also just like living and being a person. Like there's this one nurse, like the head nurse, she tries to like shake things up because I'm blanking. I want to say they call them the Filipino mafia, and they're like, we can't say the Philippines. They're like, no, that's what they call themselves. And they're like, no, we can't say it. But we can't say it. They can say it, but we can't say it. And it's stupid shit like that. And then like dealing with all of the fallout from that. Cause then she tries to like break up the Filipino mafia and they all get like super pissed and it becomes a war. Cause they're like, we didn't want to be broken up. She's like, well, I didn't want you to feel like you were being like forced and cornered in. And he goes, but did you ever ask us
how
once?
We felt?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, did you ever ask us once? And she's like, oh. And he's like, yes, that's the ally part.
And I think that's the best part about like sitcoms is like when there's a little bit of like not necessarily a lesson, but like they're talking about like a thing that's happening currently in the world.
Yeah.
And like, how do we incorporate that into the workplace of like, either an office, working for the government, working for TV, working for being a teacher or being, a nurse. I think that's the brilliant of these kind of comedies that the office created of like, how do we tell these stories just in the workplace.
And what I do like about it is like there is like some like life and death scenarios, but it's really not that heavy.
Oh yeah,
like
no.
And so like
it's a sitcom. It can't be too heavy.
It's a sitcom. It can't be that heavy. And so, but sometimes they try to be, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm just very glad. I really like the pacing of the show. I like the comedic timing. I love the characters.
How many episodes are out?
I think there's like 4 or 5.
Okay.
So there's a little handful out. It's just a fun, cute watch. I really want this show to get its legs. I want people to like it. I don't know why. I feel so strongly about the show and I can't even put my finger on it. I think that it's a really good comedy show, and I don't think that a lot of good comedy shows are getting greenlit nowadays.
No, and that's the thing. I think there's just a lot of people who are like, scared. But to me, I feel like comedy shows are the cheapest ones to make.
I think scared is the right way. Everyone's like this, and this is what we're talking about. Like, everyone's too scared to like with comedy to PC police. And the thing is when you can make jokes in certain things as long as you're not punching down, and this show does make a lot of those jokes, but that's the thing. But you have David Allen Greer, you have the Filipino Mafia, you have like these, it's a really good eclectic cast, and they're all working together and nobody's punching down. And when they are punching down, they have to like work it through, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's like it goes back to like the Michael Scott of like him being like Chris Rock. And it's like you can tell like, yes, this is racist, but like it's not coming off racist because everybody in the room is like, no, Michael, you are being racist. Like, you can't do that. And so they're checking him. And so it's just like, oh, you can make jokes about anything and everything as long as you are just showing, hey, like you said, hey, you didn't ask us once. Like, you didn't do this, or you shouldn't do this.
Like, just because something is racial doesn't mean it's racist.
Correct.
And I think that this show plays that line really fun and well. And I hate to say that, but like, guys, we have to tackle some of these subjects with some brevity and some humor, because that's how we actually
Bro,
get
just
to the
laugh. It's okay.
Just laugh. Nothing that's serious. And that's the thing. Nothing in this show like is that serious. And it's about a hospital. And it's just
Yeah.
I can't.
A lot of people can relate with that. Is it all doctors, or is it also nurses?
No, it's doctors and nurses.
Okay.
So like what the main characters are like this nurse, and she was in an Apple show recently that was about aliens or something. I'm blanking on the name of it. But she's actually really good in it. And then David Allen Greer is like the head doctor. And
okay.
then there's the surgeon, and so it does like have, and then you have like the orderlies, and then like the like flirting with the orderlies and stuff like that. So it does really span the whole, and then you have the medical director who's like in charge of everything.
I think my favorite, and here's my question. My favorite part about these kind of shows is the side characters. Not the actual main cast that we see almost every episode. It's the random character, like, for instance, like in Abbott, there's a random teacher that we just hate for no reason.
Oh, like the substitute?
Yeah, you're just like, why? Like the substitute?
Yeah.
Or why do we hate this teacher that's on another floor?
Oh,
yes.
He's
on random episodes, but like we just randomly always hate them.
Yeah, yes. So yes, they do that a lot. If you go like into the IMDb, you'll see that there are like 6 people who are at all 18 episodes, and then everyone else is like 4 or 5.
Yes, and I love that. I love that.
It's great.
All right, no, seriously, this was definitely all. I would just need it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to give this a try unless somebody tells me. Glad you said that. Glad.
It's just, if you liked Parks and Rec, if you like, I'm not gonna liken it that much to The Office, because like I think the comedy is a little different. I think it's a lot more like Parks and Rec, a lot more like Superstore. I think Superstore is probably the closest in terms of comedy.
I think Parks and Rec. I say Parks and Rec is superior to Office all day, every day.
I do too. But you and I have you even like watched a lot of The Office? Because I haven't. I want to be very clear.
So I watched the whole first season.
I've watched some of the first season.
When I tell you, in college, I watched so many episodes
that
scattered all through, because you just go in some person's room and they're just watching The Office.
How many times I would go over and they're like, "Let's put on Gay Witch Hunt," and I'm like, just tired.
I'm tired.
I'm just tired of The Office.
Yeah, no. Office is but like I respect it. I respect it.
I respect it for what it did. Yeah.
Yeah, it has its time, and I definitely thought it brought an entire.
And don't get me wrong, I get a chuckle out of a TikTok clip every now and then.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no. Parks and Rec. Actually watched Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is funny. I never watched what's that one show? 30 Rock.
I watched some of it, clips here and there. It's that one.
I feel like it has much drier humor.
Yeah. I mean, Superstore is one of my favorite shows. I really do like Superstore.
Yeah, maybe we need
you need to give it
a second season.
You need to give it another try, because it gets better as it goes, and then you get a lot more heart as it goes too. And then Dina. I love Dina so much. She's the manager.
Oh,
the big fat manager. Yeah. She and her fucking birds. Like, yes. I can't. Yeah, there's so much. I love those shows. I want to go back and watch Superstore now.
No, so tell us in the comments, what's your favorite sitcoms? What's sitcoms that we should watch? If you say The Office, we're not going to watch The Office. Just going to be honest.
We tried, okay?
Yes, we tried.
Like, I get a different personality.
Yes, please stop being basic like everybody else. But that's the end of our show. We got one more show this year, and then it's the new year.
I know. I dressed Christmassy just for this.
I dressed Chiefs because of.
Not really. I had my office holiday party today, and that's why I'm dressed like a Christmas slut.
Got mine tomorrow. So, but anyway. I'm your host, Jordan.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Double Trouble of Features.